Okay, good, good,
This
good.
call is now being recorded.
Okay, thank you. Fine. So let me take my screen. Okay, so in the last class, we were discussing about the various transforms and different series, and we have put together the equations of each of the transform and series in two umbrellas. One is synthesis equation. So in synthesis equation, the given signal is being separated out into different components, and each of those components are obtained using analysis equation. And so analysis equation is basically the transform equation, and the synthesis equation is the inverse transform equation. Okay, so now I want to ask you one thing. So if you look at the analysis equation, so basically നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പരീക്ഷയ്ക്ക് പൊതുവെ ചോദിക്കാറുള്ളത്, you will be given with a signal. It can be either a continuous time signal or a discrete time signal, and you will be asked to find the transform. For example, if continuous time signal are തന്നിരിക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ, you may be asked to find the Laplace transform of the signal, or continuous time Fourier transform of the signal. Or if you are given with the discrete time signal, you will be asked to find the Z transform, or sometimes discrete time Fourier transform, or sometimes discrete time Fourier series of the given signal. Okay, അങ്ങനെയാണ് പൊതുവെ ചോദിക്കുന്നത്. Okay, so what I want to ask you is, what is there common in the analysis equation? നിങ്ങൾ അനാലിസിസ് ഇക്വേഷൻസ്, ഐ മീൻ എല്ലാ സീരീസ്, എല്ലാ ട്രാൻസ്ഫോമിന്റെയും അനാലിസിസ് ഇക്വേഷൻ നോക്കുക. സിന്തസിസ് ഇക്വേഷനിലും അത് കറക്റ്റ് ആണ്, പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ വി വിൽ ബി ഫോക്കസിങ് മോർ ഓൺ ദ അനാലിസിസ് ഇക്വേഷൻ. സോ ഇഫ് യു ലുക്ക് അറ്റ് ദ അനാലിസിസ് ഇക്വേഷൻ, can you identify some common thing coming in analysis equation? Anybody? ആരതി കൃഷ്ണൻ ഉണ്ടോ? ആരതി കൃഷ്ണൻ. Najma Jalal is there? Okay. Yes, so Najma, ഈ അനാലിസിസ് ഇക്വേഷൻസ് നോക്കിയിട്ട് എന്താണ് കോമൺ ആയിട്ട് കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്? എന്താ ഈ ഇത്രയും 6 ഇക്വേഷൻസ് അനാലിസിസ് ഇക്വേഷൻ നോക്കുമ്പോൾ കോമൺ ആയിട്ട് എന്തെങ്കിലും കാണാൻ പറ്റുന്നുണ്ടോ?
എല്ലാത്തിലും എക്സ് ഓഫ് ടിയും എക്സ് ഓഫ് എന്നും ഉണ്ട്.
ഓക്കെ, സോ കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ടൈം സിഗ്നൽ ആണെങ്കിൽ എക്സ് ഓഫ് ടി ഉണ്ട്, ഡിസ്ക്രീറ്റ് ടൈം സിഗ്നൽ ആണെങ്കിൽ എക്സ് ഓഫ് എൻ ഉണ്ട്. അതല്ലാതെ എന്തെങ്കിലും കോമൺ ഉണ്ടോ? കണ്ടിന്യൂസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ സാധനം ഉണ്ട്, ഡിസ്ക്രീറ്റ് ആണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ സാധനം ഉണ്ട്.
അല്ലാതെ ഇന്റഗ്രേഷനും സമ്മേഷനും ഒക്കെ ആയിട്ട്.
ഓക്കെ, സോ അതാണ് ഞാൻ നോക്കുന്നത്. അതായത് എല്ലാത്തിലും if it is a discrete time signal, in whichever transform or whichever series, if it is a discrete time signal, you have the summation, and if it is a continuous time signal, you have the integration. Okay, so what I want to share is basically, if you have summation, okay, so you can see the screen, right? So if you have summation and integral with yeah, so എല്ലാ കേസിലും എന്താണ് summation x of n ഉം integral x of t ഉം ആണ്. Okay, generally, okay, so this is a general statement. So in general, x of t or x of n, ഞാൻ ഡിസ്ക്രീറ്റും കണ്ടിന്യൂസും ഒരുപോലെ പറയുകയാണ്. x of t ആണെങ്കിലും x of n ആണെങ്കിലും generally this function will contain either a delta, I mean impulse signal, or a unit step signal, u of n or u of t. So ഞാൻ പറഞ്ഞ എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, so generally what is being asked is, For example, find the Fourier transform of x of t is equal to t plus 5 into delta t minus 6. Okay, so ingane oru question thannaal what I am saying is generally you will have the signal with del of t given, or sometimes it will be asked x of t is equal to a raised to t u of minus t plus 5. Okay, so here you have the function x of t defined with unit step signal, right? So ingane varuna signals ne engane പെട്ടെന്ന് അതിന്റെ ട്രാൻസ്ഫോം കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഞാൻ ഈ ഒരു സെഷനിൽ പറയാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, അപ്പം അതിനുവേണ്ടി what we are going to do is, so we'll try to see the operation of sigma delta or integral delta. So I'll explain what is sigma delta or integral delta. So ഇതാണ് നമ്മൾ ഒന്നാമത് നോക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. അതായത് സിഗ്മയും ഡെൽറ്റയും വന്നാൽ നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ പെട്ടെന്ന് സൊല്യൂഷൻ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം, അതല്ല ഇന്റഗ്രലും ഡെൽറ്റയും ആണ് വരുന്നതെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ സൊല്യൂഷൻ എങ്ങനെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഫസ്റ്റ് തിങ് ദാറ്റ് വി വിൽ ലുക്ക്. സെക്കൻഡ് തിങ് ഈസ്, second possibility is you can have sigma u or you can have integral u. Okay, so സിഗ്മയും യുവും വന്നാൽ how to do the operation, or ഇന്റഗ്രലും യുവും വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ how to do the operation. ഇത് രണ്ടുമില്ല എങ്കിൽ general കേസിൽ, so we'll consider the summation case. So it will be something called as geometric progression. So geometric progression la impulsum kaanilla, unit step-um kaanilla. അങ്ങനെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ we need to find the summation using geometric progression. Okay, so ഈ മൂന്ന് കാര്യങ്ങൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഈ ഒരു മണിക്കൂറിനുള്ളിൽ പറ്റുന്നത്രയും ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്. Okay, so if you understand this, ഇത് എങ്ങനെയാണ് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കുന്നതെന്ന് മനസ്സിലായാൽ, if you are asked to find the Fourier transform അല്ലെങ്കിൽ if you are asked to find the Laplace transform, അതല്ല വേറൊരു സിഗ്നൽ, ഒരു ഡിസ്ക്രീറ്റ് സിഗ്നൽ തന്നിട്ട് അതിന്റെ Z ട്രാൻസ്ഫോമോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ DTFT ഏത് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ ചോദിച്ചാലും, you just check whether you have delta. If you have delta, you apply this. If you have u, you apply the second thing that I am going to discuss. If none of this is there, then you need to apply the geometric progression. Okay, so is the setting clear? എന്താണ് പഠിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നതെന്നുള്ള ക്ലിയർ ആണല്ലോ?
Yes sir.
Okay, good. So as a word of caution, so this is an easy way. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മാർക്ക് കിട്ടണമെങ്കിൽ you need to write the elaborate steps. ഇത് ഞാൻ പറയുന്നത് ആൻസർ പെട്ടെന്ന് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു മെത്തേഡ് മാത്രമാണ്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് 100 മാർക്സും കിട്ടണമെങ്കിൽ ഈ മെത്തേഡ് വെച്ച് ആൻസർ കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചിട്ട് you can give the proper steps and come to the answer. Okay, so with that caution, let me move to the first one, which is sigma delta or integral delta operation. Sigma delta or integral delta operation. Okay, so now you forget about all the transforms. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഒരു ട്രാൻസ്ഫോമും അറിയില്ല എന്ന് ഞാൻ അങ്ങ് വിചാരിക്കുകയാണ്. Okay, so right now you forget about all the transforms. What I'll tell is, suppose you have so let me explain the operation with an example. Summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity a raised to n del n minus 5. What is the answer of this? Can anybody quickly tell me what is the answer? Or I'll give one more question. I'll write, yeah, I'll write in the next page so that we'll come to that. Integral minus infinity to infinity e raised to at del of minus t minus 2 dt. What is the answer of this? Do anyone know the answer? Okay, fine. So let's see what is the answer to this question. So
A raised to
yes,
5 ആണ്.
yes, adara paranjathu?
Anandu.
Anandu. Okay, so answer is a raised to 5. Now can you tell me the answer of this?
E raised to minus 2a.
E raised to
Minus 2a.
e raised to minus 2a. Yes, that is correct. So we'll see, we'll follow a step by step procedure to identify the answer. So what you need to do is, so if you identify sigma and delta, okay, or if you identify integral and delta, you need to follow the same operation. Okay, so what you need to do is, so you need to follow 3 steps. So as steps I'll write. So first step is you identify what is the variable of summation. Okay, so identify the variable of summation. So what is the variable of summation here? The variable of summation is n, right? So you put like this. ഇവിടെ എന്തോ ഉണ്ട് അതെനിക്ക് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കണം. So the first step is identify the variable of summation, and you need to find what is this n. Okay, so that is first step. Second step is whatever is there inside the brackets of del of you put that equal to 0. That means n minus 5 equal to 0. Okay, so from that, what is n? So the third step is find that n. So n is equal to 5, right? So what we are looking for is n is equal to 5. So if you have summation and delta operation, the only thing remaining will be whatever is there after summation and del. ഈ സമ്മേഷനും ഡെല്ലും കണ്ടാൽ ഇതിന്റെ ആൻസറിൽ സമ്മേഷനും ഡെല്ലും കാണില്ല, ബാക്കി എന്തുണ്ടോ അത് മാത്രമേ കാണുള്ളൂ. Okay, so you will have as the answer a raised to n, and what will be n? So this n is given by these steps. So what is n here? So we have found that n is 5. So we'll get a raised to 5. So so you need to follow these 3 steps to find the answer of sigma del. Okay, so I'll repeat it once again. If you see sigma and delta, what you need to do is find the variable of summation. Okay, then you put whatever is there inside the bracket of delta equal to 0 and find that variable. Okay, ഇനി ഞാൻ അടുത്ത എക്സാമ്പിൾ വരുമ്പോൾ എന്നും കെയും എല്ലാം കൂടെ വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഈ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ സ്റ്റെപ്പ് ഫോളോ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ആകും. ഓക്കെ, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ പർട്ടിക്കുലർ രീതിയിൽ തന്നെ സ്റ്റെപ്സ് ഫോളോ ചെയ്യാൻ പറയുന്നത്. Okay, so first you identify the variable of summation. The next step, you put whatever is there inside the brackets of del of n, del as equal to 0, and find what is the variable which we need to find. എന്നിട്ട് ആ n എന്താണോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ വേരിയബിൾ എന്താണോ അത് ആൻസറിൽ സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കുക. So for sigma del operation, the answer will only contain the remaining parts other than summation and del. Okay, so is that process clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So if it is integral and del, you can repeat the same process. So can somebody tell me what are the processes? So first you need to identify the variable of integration. Okay, so you put t tends to something. Okay, so second step is you put minus t minus 2 equal to 0. Okay, so whatever is inside the delta, you put that equal to 0, and in third step you find what is that t. What is the t here? What is the t as a solution of this? It is t is equal to
-2.
t is equal to minus 2. So what will be the answer here? So ഇതിന്റെ ആൻസറിലും ഇന്റഗ്രലും കാണില്ല, ഈ ഡെല്ലും കാണില്ല. We only have e raised to at, and what is this t? T is now changed to
-2.
T is changed to minus 2. Okay, so the answer is e raised to a into minus 2, or you can write it as e raised to minus a2 or 2a. Yeah, 2a. So is that clear? How to do the summation in summation delta or integral delta operation? Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
if that is clear, then what I'll do is, this is what we'll do. I'll put 3-4 questions here. You need to do it now itself and put the answers in the chat box. Okay, so you need to do it quickly. For 5 minutes ഞാനൊരു 3-4 question ഇപ്പം എടുത്തു വിടും. You find quickly what is the answer and put the answer in chat box. I'll call the name randomly. Okay, so ഇത് ഈ 3-4 question ചെയ്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ you are okay with summation delta operation. ഇനി നമ്മൾ അടുത്തതിലോട്ട് പോവുകയാണ്. Okay, so the questions are questions on summation delta or integral delta. Okay, so question 1, so please start answering. Integral minus infinity to infinity 6t square plus 2t del of t plus 3 dt. Second question, summation k is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k del of n minus k. Third question, integral minus infinity to infinity t plus 5 del of t minus 6 e raised to minus j omega t dt. Okay, so you can quickly do these 3 questions and put the answers in chat box, and let me see how much you understood. So the first one answer is 48. Yeah, first one is 48. What about second one? So t tends to t plus 3 equal to 0. That means t equal to minus 3. So t tends to minus 3. 6 into minus 3 square plus 2 into minus 3, which is 54 minus 6 equal to 48. Correct. Yeah, second one. Second one, is it x of n or x of k? X of k. Third one is 11 e raised to minus 6 j omega. Okay, let me give one more question. Summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity a raised to n z raised to a raised to n del of n minus 1 z raised to minus n. Okay, so what is the answer to the second question? Is it x of n or x of k? Somebody has put x of n, somebody has put x of k.
X of n.
X of n. Okay. So Shahwan Muhammad x of k I take another Gayatri B x of k and take another Surajas Kumar x of n and take another. Okay, so second question, you need to follow the steps clearly. So the answer, yeah, we'll see the answer. What are the steps? First step, you identify the variable of summation. Here it is. The variable is Shahwan. Shahwan undo.
Sir,
Okay, so what is
the variable n minus k equal to 0.
So,
n tends to something.
what is the first step? അതാ പറഞ്ഞ ആ ഒരു ഓർഡറിൽ ഫോളോ ചെയ്തില്ലെങ്കിൽ കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ആകും. Okay, so what is the variable of summation?
n
ആണോ സമ്മേഷന്റെ വേരിയബിൾ?
അല്ല, sorry, k.
So that is the problem. So the variable of summation is k, and in second step you put n minus k is equal to 0, which is there inside the bracket of del. So what we need to find? We need to find k. K ആണ് കണ്ടുപിടിക്കേണ്ടത് അല്ലേ? So what is k?
K equal to n.
K equal to n. So you put k is equal to n. Okay. So what will be the answer?
X of n.
X of n. Okay. Okay. Fine. What about the third question? എല്ലാവർക്കും കിട്ടിയോ third question? Okay. So the third question answer is you need to put t is equal to 6. So 6 plus phi11 e raised to 6 minus 6 j omega. Okay, and the fourth question, n equal to 1, so it is a by z, or a z raised to minus 1. Okay, so I hope most of you have done that. So can you identify any transform in the last question and the second last question, third and fourth? Which transform is fourth question?
Z transform.
Very good, very good. So it is the Z transform of which signal? ഏത് സിഗ്നലിലെ Z transform ആണ് a z raised to minus 1? Z transform of this signal, a of n. So if you are asked to find the Z transform of a of n del n minus 1, you will get the answer as a z raised to minus 1. What about the third question? What transform is that?
Fourier transform.
This is continuous time Fourier transform with what is the signal? Signal is t plus 5 del t minus 6. Okay, and what about the second one? Have you seen this anywhere? Summation k is equal to minus infinity to infinity x of k del n minus k. കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ എവിടെയല്ലോ?
Convolution.
So it is not actually convolution. So for convolution we have x of k del of k minus n. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity x of n del of n minus k. ആയിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ അത് convolution ആണ്. So this is not exactly convolution, but something similar to convolution. അപ്പോൾ convolution നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ എഴുതി വേണമെങ്കിൽ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം. Okay, so I hope summation del operation is clear. Now let me go to little more complicated thing, which is summation u or integral u operation. This is more frequent than the del operation. Generally, all question, either question eduthalum poduve you will have some signal with some operation on unit step. Okay. Okay, so how to do this? So so in this case what you need to do is, so please listen to this carefully. Okay, so there are basically two cases. Okay, two cases. Okay, so in case one, you have u of n, and case two you have u of minus n. So first I will explain summation u, and the same thing is applicable to integral u operation. Okay. Okay, so it can be either summation, u of n or u of minus n. Okay, and if it is u of n, you know what is u of n. U of n is 1 for n greater than or equal to 0, or the n is varying from, so n is varying from 0 to plus infinity, right? What about u of minus n? What is u of minus n? So u of minus n is the time reversed signal, unit step signal, and for u of minus n, n is varied from minus infinity to 0, right? So u of n ennu paranjal it is a unit step signal which is varying from 0 to infinity. U of minus n is time reversed unit step signal which is varying from minus infinity to 0. അപ്പം ആദ്യം നിങ്ങൾ ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് u of n ആണോ u of minus n ആണോ എന്ന് ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യണം. If it is u of n, n is varying from 0 to infinity, and if it is u of minus n, you need to vary from minus infinity to 0. Okay, so that is the first thing that you need to identify. The second thing, so that is the first thing. Second thing that you need to identify is the limit is not 0 if it is having some time shift. അതായത് For example, if it is u of n minus 5. So what is u of n minus 5? It is a delayed signal by 5 instances, right? So angana avumbo idu 0 mudalano alla, it is from 5 to infinity. So adu kandupidikkanayittu what you need to do is whatever is inside this, you equate that to 0. So n minus 5 equal to 0, so that n equal to 5. അപ്പം ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു അഡീഷണൽ ഒരു ഷിഫ്റ്റിംഗ് കൂടെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you change this 0 to this new n, or ഈ കേസിൽ n equal to 5 വരും. Okay, I'll explain it once again. നമുക്ക് u of minus n കൂടെ നോക്കിയിട്ട് ഒരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ വെച്ച് പറയുമ്പോൾ അത് ക്ലിയർ ആവും. So suppose you have u of minus n plus 6. Okay, for example, u of minus n plus 6. So once you see u minus n, you understand that it is n is varying from minus infinity to 0. And next step, what you need to check is whether it is still 0 or not. ഇവിടെ ഒരു ടൈം ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ it will not be 0. So in order to find that n, what you need to do is take the argument and equate that to 0. So n minus n plus 6 equal to 0. And what will be n? So from this, n equal to 6, right? So this need to be changed to minus infinity to 6. Okay, so these two things you need to check. Okay, so sigma del അല്ലെങ്കിൽ integral, sorry, sigma u or integral u ആണെങ്കിൽ first you need to check whether it is u of n or u of minus n. അതായത് നോർമൽ സിഗ്നൽ ആണോ അതോ ടൈം റിവേഴ്സ്ഡ് സിഗ്നൽ ആണോ എന്നുള്ള ഐഡന്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യുക. നോർമൽ സിഗ്നൽ ആണെങ്കിൽ it will vary from 0 to infinity. If it is time reverse signal u of minus n ആണെങ്കിൽ it will vary from minus infinity to 0. രണ്ടാമത്തെ സ്റ്റെപ്പിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും ടൈം ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് നോക്കുക. ടൈം ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you make that as the limit. For example, u of n minus 5 ആണെങ്കിൽ you find what is that n by putting n minus 5 is equal to 0. You will find that n is equal to 5, and instead of that 0, now you put 5, so that n is varying from 5 to infinity, and you change the limit of integral. I'll give an example. Okay, so let's do an example, then it will be more clear for you. So summation a raised to n u of n plus 3, n equal to minus infinity to infinity. So ഡെല്ലിന്റെ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ആയിരുന്നപ്പോൾ ഈ സബ്മേഷനും കാണില്ല ഡെല്ലും കാണില്ലായിരുന്നു അല്ലേ? പക്ഷെങ്കിൽ യുവിന്റെ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ആണെങ്കിൽ the summation will remain. Okay, so what you need to do is the summation you just write it directly, and this u of n will go, and whatever is remaining you just write it directly. Okay, so summation എഴുതി ഇവിടെ എന്തുണ്ടായിരുന്നോ അത് ഡയറക്റ്റ് താഴോട്ട് എഴുതി. Now you need to find the limits. Okay, so what is the limit of n? So you have u of n plus 3, and first you identify that it is a normal signal, it is not a time reverse signal. So n is varied from 0 to infinity because n is positive. ഇനി രണ്ടാമത് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത് എന്താണ്? ഇത് 0 മുതലാണോ അതോ വേറെ ഏതെങ്കിലും വാല്യൂ മുതലാണോ? You can see that it is a shifted signal. So how to find the shift? You put n plus 3 equal to 0, so that n equal to minus 3, and hence 0 is being changed to minus 3. So the summation is from n equal to minus 3 to infinity. Okay, so this is how you will do the summation u operation. Similarly, if you have the integral, or rather let me try to do one more example with time reverse signal. Suppose you have a signal summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity, a raised to n u of minus n plus 1. Can somebody quickly tell me what is the limits, or what is the summation? So you identify that it is u of minus n, which is a time reverse signal. So it will be from minus infinity to 0. Now is it 0? It is not 0 because minus n plus 1 equal to 0. From that, n is equal to 1. So it is not 0, but it is 1. So summation is from minus infinity to 1. Summation minus infinity to 1, a raised to n will remain. N is equal to minus infinity to 1, a raised to n. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so let me try to give an example from integration as well. So integral minus infinity to infinity a raised to t u of t plus 3 dt. ഇതെങ്ങനെയായിരിക്കും ചെയ്യുന്നത്? So first thing you see that it is u of t. So u of t ആയതുകൊണ്ട് എന്തായിരിക്കും? t will vary from 0 to infinity. Second thing you see that is there any time shift? There is a time shift. So it is not 0, but t plus 3 equal to 0. That means t equal to minus 3, and hence this has to be changed to minus 3 to infinity. So you can write this as integral minus 3 to infinity a raised to t. This will go, and you will have a raised to t dt. And now you need to evaluate this thing. Is unevaluated, you will get the answer. Okay, so I think it is clear. So let me give you exercises in sigma. So exercises in sigma u or integral u operation. Okay, so quickly do these exercises and put the answer in chat box. Okay, summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity u of n plus 1 e raised to j omega n Second one is integral minus infinity to infinity u of minus t plus 1 e raised to j omega t dt. So put the answers in chat box. Third one, summation k is equal to minus infinity to infinity a raised to k u of minus k minus 2. Fourth one, integral minus infinity to infinity e raised to minus at u of t e raised to minus st dt. Okay, so wait for a second, you can put this as minus so that these are all transforms. Okay, what are the answers? Okay, so the first answer is summation -1 to infinity e raised to minus j omega n. So it is n, so 0 to infinity, and yeah, so you have 0 to infinity. Now is it 0? It is not 0. It is n plus 1 equal to 0, so n equal to -1. So instead of 0, you have -1. So you can write it as summation n equal to -1 to infinity e raised to minus j omega n. Okay, so whatever is remaining, you need to write that. അതല്ലാതെ n സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യരുത്. നേരത്തെ നമ്മൾ ഡെല്ലിന് ചെയ്തതുപോലെ n equal to അത് സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യരുത്. Okay, so this is the answer to the first one. Now you need to do the summation that I will explain in the GP. So this is actually a geometric progression, and finding answer to this I will explain as time permits. What is this? What is the answer to the second? Here it is minus t, so it is from minus infinity to 0. Now is it 0? No, it is not 0. You have minus t plus 1 equal to 0. So t is equal to 1. So instead of 0, you have 1. So integral minus infinity to 1 e raised to minus j omega t dt. Is that what? Integral minus infinity to 1 e raised to minus j omega t dt. Very good. Very good. Okay. Now you need to integrate, I mean, you need to find this integral. Okay, fine. So third question, it is minus k, so it is from minus infinity to 0. Now is it 0? It is not 0. Minus k minus 2 equal to 0. That means k is equal to minus 2. So instead of 0, you have minus 2. So summation k is equal to minus infinity to minus 2 a raised to k. Summation minus infinity to minus 2 a raised to k. Very good. What is this? It is u of t, so it is from 0 to infinity. Now is it from 0 to infinity? Yes, there is no change in 0. So integral 0 to infinity e raised to minus s plus at dt. Now you need to integrate this. Okay, okay, very good. So is that clear so far? How to do? Oh, okay, so let me ask you, what is this first question? എന്താണ് ഈ ആദ്യത്തെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ? ഏത് ട്രാൻസ്ഫോമാ ചോദിച്ചേക്കുന്നത്? അത് വല്ലതും അറിഞ്ഞായിരുന്നോ? What is the first question? Is it any transform? Hello, പോയോ?
Discrete time Fourier transform.
Yes. So the first one is actually the discrete time Fourier transform of the signal u of n plus 1. Okay, നിങ്ങളിപ്പോ already discrete time Fourier transform പഠിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞു. Okay, what is the second question? So this is dTft of u of n plus 1. What is the second question?
CTFT. Continuous time Fourier.
This is the
Continuous time. CTFT.
This is the continuous time Fourier transform of u of minus t plus 1. So if you are asked to find the continuous time Fourier transform of u of minus t plus 1, you need to find integral minus infinity to 1 e raised to minus j omega t dt. If you integrate the limit apply that, you will get the answer. Okay, this is not a transform but a general question. What about the last one?
Laplace.
It is the Laplace transform of e raised to minus at.
Laplace transform.
Okay, so what is the Laplace transform of e raised to minus at ut? What is the Laplace transform of e raised to minus at ut? So if you integrate this, you will get it as 1 by s plus a. Okay. So let me move to the last session. I have 10 more minutes. So the last thing that, if you are given with a problem to find any transform, you check whether the given signal has del in it or the impulse operation in it. You can do the first thing that I mentioned. If del is not there, check whether it has u. If it has u, you can perform the second operation that I have mentioned. If none of these is there, now I am particularly speaking about summation. In discrete signal case, integral geometric series alla. Okay. So for Z transform and dt ft, discrete time Fourier transform in the case aana njan ini parayan pona operation. That means geometric progression. So this is something you have already studied in your +2 or school, I don't know. Geometry progression, we are just rewinding. So what is a geometric progression? So a geometry progression is having something like 1 plus a square plus a cube plus etc. up to a raised to n, for example. Okay, so I can write it as summation n equal to 0 to infinity a raised to, in bracket, a raised to n. Is that correct?
Sir.
So if n is equal to 0, it is 1. N equal to 1, it is 1, a. N equal to 2, it is a square, and so on. So this a is known as common ratio. Okay. What is the expression of summation n equal to 0 to infinity a raised to n? Oh, no, let me write. It is not infinity. Sorry, this is not infinity here, but we have n here. Correct? It is 0 to n. Infinity, it will go to infinity. We will discuss about that. So first we will discuss about 0 to n, then we will discuss about 0 to infinity. Okay, so what is this summation? What is the expression? And also I want the expression of n equal to 0 to infinity a raised to n. പെട്ടെന്ന് സ്കൂൾ 8ാം ക്ലാസ് 9ാം ക്ലാസ് അങ്ങണ്ട. Nobody knows? So the summation of n equal to 0 to capital N a raised to n is 1 minus a raised to capital N plus 1 divided by 1 minus a. ഇങ്ങനൊരു സാധനം പഠിച്ചിട്ടേ ഇല്ലേ? ആദിത്യ ഗോപാൽ ഉണ്ടോ?
ഹലോ.
ഇങ്ങനൊരു സാധനം കണ്ടിട്ടേ ഇല്ല?
ഹലോ. പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Okay, then what is the summation n equal to 0 to infinity a raised to n?
1 by
1 by
1 minus a.
1 minus a if there is a condition. Only if magnitude of a is anybody?
less than
less
1
than 1, less than 1. So this condition is true only if magnitude of A is less than 1. If A is greater than 1, what will be the sum? എന്തായിരിക്കും sum? Suppose A is 2. Summation n is equal to 0 to infinity 2 raised to n. What is the sum?
1 by A.
1 by 1 by
A minus 1.
A minus 1. Wrong.
Infinity.
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 Infinity. Because if it is 2 raised to n, you will have 2 raised to 0 is 1. 1 plus 2 plus 2 square plus 2 cube plus 2 raised to 4 plus etc. up to അത് infinity വരെ പോയാൽ എന്തായിരിക്കും sum? It will be infinity, right? So if A is greater than 1, the summation will go to infinity, and if A is less than 1, the summation is 1 by 1 minus A. Okay. Okay, so this is related to ROC in Z transform. We'll come to that. So that is why these are important. So idipa thanne padicho, summation n equal to 0 to a finite number. Also remember one thing, this is very important. N is from 0. It is not from some other n equal to 1 onno alla, n equal to 2 onno alla. It is from 0 to n anengil maatrame we can write this summation. Similarly, summation n equal to 0 to infinity anengil maatrame, and if A, the magnitude of A is less than 1, then the summation is given by 1 minus A. Okay, fine. So let me ask you one question. Summation, so suppose you want to find summation n equal to 10 to 20. Okay, summation n equal to 10 to 20 A raised to n. ഇതെങ്ങനെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാൻ പറ്റും? So you know the relation if the summation is from 0 to 20. Okay, so you know how to find if the summation is from 0 to 20, but my question is from n equal to 10 to 20. How to find this? Anybody?
0 to 20 കണ്ടുപിടിച്ചിട്ട് 0 to 10 minus ചെയ്യണം.
Okay, so let me write n equal to 0 to 20 first. A raised to n minus summation
n equal to 0 to 10.
n equal to 0 to 10.
0 to
A raised to n.
10 ആണോ 9 ആണോ?
9.
9.
Okay, so it is from, because I want the 10th element also. അല്ലേ, 10th elementum ഈ ഫസ്റ്റ് ഇതിനകത്ത് വരണം. അതുകൊണ്ട് you subtract n equal to 0 to 10 A raised to n. Now you know what is this. ആദ്യത്തെ ടേമിന്റെ സമ്മേഷൻ എന്താ? What is the expression? What is summation n equal to 0 to 20 A raised to n?
1 minus
1 minus
A raised to 21.
21 divided by 1 minus A minus, what is this?
1 minus
1 minus
A raised to 10.
10 divided by
1 minus A.
Okay, very good. So that is about if you have a positive sequence. Okay, it is not starting from 0, but it is starting from some other positive number and ending at some other positive number. Yeah, so let me give so another question. Summation n equal to minus 10 to minus 20 ആണെങ്കിൽ എങ്ങനെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം? A raised to n. ഇതെങ്ങനെ കണ്ടുപിടിക്കാം? So it is actually a negative sequence. Any idea? So this can be written equivalently as summation n equal to 10 to 20 A raised to minus 1 raised to n. ഇവിടെ എന്തുണ്ടോ അതിനെ A raised to minus 1 എഴുതിയാൽ we can change both the signs. ഇതൊരു നെഗറ്റീവ് സീക്വൻസ് ആയിരുന്നു. n is varying from minus 10 to minus 20 ആയിരുന്നു. And if you change a to a raised to minus 1, you can change the indices from plus 20 to plus 10 to 20. Now how will you do it? Ini engane cheyum? You can do the same step as you followed in the previous case. That means summation n equal to 0 to 20 a raised to minus 1 n minus summation n equal to 0 to 9 a raised to minus 1 n. What is the summation? What is the summation of first? What is the summation?
1 minus
1 minus
a raised to 9.
1 minus
My
1 minus a inverse raised to 21 divided by 1 minus a inverse minus, what is the summation? 1 minus a inverse raised
a
to 10 divided by 1 minus a inverse. So this is how you will do the positive sequence. This is how you will do the negative sequence. Now let me ask you about a sequence which has both positive and negative. Okay, so summation n equal to minus 2 to 20 a raised to n. How to do this? പെട്ടെന്ന് ഇതൂടെ പറഞ്ഞാൽ കഴിഞ്ഞു.
minus 2 to 0, kind of 0 to 20.
Okay, minus 2 തൊട്ട് n equal to minus 2 തൊട്ട് പറഞ്ഞത് കറക്റ്റാ?
0.
ഓക്കെ, 0 ആണോ അതോ? ഓക്കെ, 0 എഴുതാം. ഓക്കെ, a raised to n plus
Plus sigma
minus 1.
minus.
ഓക്കെ, ഇവിടെ 0 വേണ്ട, മൈനസ് 1 മതി എന്നാ വേറെ ആരോ പറഞ്ഞത്. അതാണോ ഉദ്ദേശിച്ചത്?
അതെ സർ.
ഓക്കെ, ഇവിടെ മൈനസ് 1 എഴുതി, so that you can write n equal to 0 here.
0 here.
Okay, n equal to 0 to
20.
0 to 20 a raised to n. നമുക്ക് ഈ മൈനസ് 2 to 20 എന്ത് ചെയ്യാം? ഇടയ്ക്ക് 0 ഉണ്ട്, മൈനസ് 1 ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഇവിടെ വെച്ച് ബ്രേക്ക് ചെയ്യാം. മൈനസ് 2 to മൈനസ് 1 0 to 20. ഓക്കെ, നൗ വാട്ട് യു ക്യാൻ ഡു? ഇതിനെ നമുക്ക് ഡയറക്റ്റ് എഴുതാം. We know this. What is the summation? What is this summation? 0 to 20 a raised to n. Fast, 4 മണിയായി.
1 minus a raised
1 minus a raised to
a raised to 21 divided by
1 minus a.
Okay, അതിന്റെ കാര്യം തീരുമാനമായി. Now what about this? ഇതിനെ we can do as in the case of negative sequence. That means we can write this as summation n equal to 2 to 1 a raised to minus 1 into n. അല്ലേ? So summation n equal to 2 to 1 equal to summation n equal to 1 to 2. അതിൽ പ്രശ്നമൊന്നുമില്ല, സമ്മേഷൻ തിരിക്കുന്നതിന് പ്രശ്നമില്ല. പക്ഷെ ഇന്റഗ്രേഷനിൽ ഇത് പറ്റില്ല, അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഇത് ഇന്റഗ്രേഷനിൽ പറ്റാത്തത്. So n equal to 1 to 2 a raised to minus 1 into n plus the same thing. What is this? This can be written as summation n equal to 0 to 2 a raised to minus 1 n minus summation n equal to 0. So നമ്മൾ നെഗറ്റീവ് സീക്വൻസിൽ എങ്ങനെ ചെയ്തോ അതുപോലെ തന്നെ we are doing 0 to 2 minus 0. Okay, plus this thing 1 minus a raised to 21 divided by 1 minus a. Okay, so this is how you will find the geometric progression if you have a positive sequence or negative sequence or a sequence which is both. Okay, so let me quickly give you some questions to find exercise. So last exercise. So please do it quickly. First one is summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity a raised to n u of n z raised to minus n. Okay, so how to do this? First you must see sigma u here. ആദ്യം നിങ്ങൾ സിഗ്മ യു കണ്ട് അതിന്റെ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ചെയ്യണം, എന്നാൽ മാത്രമേ ജോമെട്രിക് പ്രോഗ്രഷൻ ആകുള്ളൂ. എന്നിട്ട് ജോമെട്രിക് പ്രോഗ്രഷന്റെ ഓപ്പറേഷൻ ചെയ്യണം. Okay, so I'll do this for you. Okay, so you see sigma u and you check whether it is u of n or u of minus 1. So you have seen that is the u of n, so it is varying from 0 to infinity. Now is it 0? Yes, it is 0 itself. So this you can write it as summation n equal to 0 to infinity a raised to n z raised to minus n. Okay, now you have a form of geometry progression, but this is not exactly in that form. We need something like n മാത്രമായിട്ട് ഉള്ള പവർ ആയിട്ട് എഴുതണം. So we need to write summation n equal to 0 to infinity a z raised to minus 1 raised to n. Okay, now what is this summation? Summation n equal to 0 to infinity a z inverse raised to n. What is this?
One by
1 by 1 minus
a raised to z raised to minus 1.
a z inverse,
If
right? 1 by 1 minus a അല്ലേ നമ്മുടെ ജനറൽ എക്സ്പ്രഷൻ. ഇപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് a ക്ക് പകരം a z inverse ഉണ്ട്. So it is 1 by 1 minus a z inverse only if
a raised to a z raised to minus 1 magnitude less than.
yes,
1.
only if a z inverse is less than 1, which means that a is or magnitude of a is less than what? Magnitude of z, or we can write in the other direction, magnitude of z is greater than a, which is nothing but ROC. So this is actually z transform of a raised to n u of n. So if you are asked to find the z transform of a raised to n u of n, what you need to do is, this is the expression of z transform. You put x of n equal to a raised to n u of n. Now you know what is geometric progressions. Summation n equal to 0 to infinity a raised to n z raised to minus n can be written as a z inverse raised to n. Now you know that summation n equal to 0 to infinity a z inverse raised to n is 1 by 1 minus a z inverse only if this condition is true, and this condition says that magnitude of z is greater than a, which is the ROC of the z transform. We'll discuss that later. Okay, ഞാനിപ്പം എന്താണ് പറഞ്ഞത്, എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഒരു ജോമെട്രിക് പ്രോബ്ലം. Is that clear? ഇത് ചെയ്ത് എങ്ങനെയാണ്, ക്ലിയർ ആണോ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if that is the case, I'll give a few more questions and we'll wind up after that exercises. Okay, so first question is summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity a raised to n u of minus n z raised to minus n. Second question, summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity a raised to minus n u of minus n minus 1 z raised to minus n. Third question, so put the answers in chat box. Summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity e raised to minus j omega 0 n u of n z raised to minus n. Fourth question is summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity half raised to n u of n minus 2 z raised to minus n. Fifth question is summation n equal to minus infinity to infinity 2 raised to n u of n 2 raised to n u of n plus 3 raised to n u of n z raised to minus n. So please work out these questions by the time I will join for the other meeting, and you put the answers in the chat box.